hiring an SDR is the hardest job to hire for.
Absolutely.
If you've hired them and they're really good, you've got 12 months before they are going to go somewhere else or expect you to move. So is ultimately someone who does high activity. I'm expecting a lot of activity, good activity, right activity.
Sellers and companies are hiring coaches, trainers, outsiders, whatever. The first thing that I hear is, no, my manager is telling me you have to do more. What is that?
It's literally the job of leadership to make sure that you're hiring the right people. If you've got the wrong people, the wrong product market fit, or the wrong go-to-market motion, that's what the leadership is there to do, right?
Wild stories from someone who is in the industry since more than 20 years. No introduction needed. And yeah, I think Alan.
Let's do it, man. This will be crazy. This will be wild. Before we jump there, thank you, Jason AI by Reply.io, our main partner as well, all over across this Confessions of a Seller journey. If you want to learn more about their whole crazy all-in-one solution, everything in the description. But we don't have time today because we have a wild guest.
Special guest.
Go ahead, please.
Listen, before we start, do you mind? I did bring you some things.
We have some surprises.
I got some merch for you, okay?
That's how we're going to start.
This is socks, okay?
Man.
This is my company socks, PVK socks. If you are in the renewables industry, the renewables tech industry, or even not,
give it to me.
These are what everyone is wearing. Events, people come over, they buy our stuff just to get the socks. If I see these on eBay, I'll be upset.
No,
okay.
You will see our feet on eBay.
I'm wearing some myself, especially.
Man, I'm telling you, we have the camera there.
Yeah.
The other day we have another invite, and they gave us a hoodie, and we put it on the moment. So I don't think that we will put our feet outside right now.
It will take a while until.
Yeah, but thank you very much, man.
It fits to our
color.
So, there we go. There we go.
Thank you very much. PVKs, by the way.
All good. All good.
And let's kick this off. We have a wild stories here.
Yeah,
I want you to make it happen.
Chris, you said you saw a viral video in the cap when you came here.
Yeah,
what was that about?
I was doing some mental maths, and I think it's one of those stories where people make very bold statements. And
what was it exactly about?
There was the guy from 11 Labs, great company. I'm not saying anything about the company. I'm just saying there was a viral clip that's gone out there where one of the VPs over there makes some very bold statements. It's been picked up all over. It's everywhere. Instagram, you name it. It's gone out there. It's gone viral.
Yeah.
It says this, something along these lines is like, we have a 20x base salary to target expectation, right? So if you get 100K base salary, you got to do 2 million in quotes. That's 20 times. Okay. Now, I was like, that sounds aggressive. But I thought, let me just do the maths quickly. And thought about it and thought that there's something going on a little bit funky there. So quick test, guys. When you think about OTE
means on
target earnings. How much you earn if you achieve your target, right?
Yeah.
And you think about that versus typical quota in the SaaS world. What is it typically?
Yeah, the SaaS, it's between 5 and something else, right?
5 to 8.
8.
That depends on your product, depends if you're SMB, depends if you're enterprise, but somewhere between 5 to 8 times, right? Your OTE.
Correct.
So what this guy is basically saying is, we do 20x base salary. So let's just run some basic maths here of why I think that it's one of those like mathematical sleight of hands. And then the weird thing is VCs, C-level people, PE firms sharing this, talking about it. And I'm like, guys, know your numbers. It actually worries me. So let's just run the maths quickly. So you got 100K base salary, you got 2 million in quota. Let's say you hit your 2 million in quota. Nice job, by the way.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, you hit 100%.
Correct.
Let's make a guess on what the commission rate would be on 2 million. It's going to be no less than 10%.
Should be 10%.
It's going to be minimum
at least 10%.
At least 10%.
If you make 2 million for the company in revenue, man.
At least. So what's that? Let's keep up like 10%. 10% of 2 million. What's
200K.
200K. What's the base salary?
Let's say 100.
So it's 100. Exactly what he said. So it's 100K. Now you get 200K in commission. Add the two together.
300K.
300K. What was the multiples, which usually is a SaaS industry standard?
We were saying
5 to 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 million divided by your 300K OTE. Quick maths.
You are the expert here.
6.7.
Okay.
So basically,
they are average.
They're doing the average, but You come on a podcast, you slam your hand on the table and you make a wild statement, but you just say 20x base
And
salary.
they change just the frame of how
It's
they
changed
explain
the
it.
frame, but ultimately you're saying, we follow the industry standard. And everyone goes, wow, that's amazing. I'm like, okay. Maybe they said a couple of other things that if they don't hit it, they fire people straight away.
Yeah.
And maybe
We
that's the
prefer a
case. But
smaller team,
smaller team
Yeah.
to hit bigger numbers.
but it's the same numbers, basically.
It's the same numbers.
So I
same
have one
numbers.
question that this scares me a little bit because
Yeah.
I mean, you are an expert. Then we will introduce you a little bit and your background because I want your story, but for the audience to know. But if this goes viral, and then we have in this crazy industry, we have VCs, we have
Correct.
angel investors, we have all
Correct.
these people that looks like the smartest people in the world. In fact, we have a book there that is from Ben Horowitz, that
Yeah.
is from Horowitz and Anderson and Horowitz,
Yeah.
hard things about hard things and so on. And no one understands these
This
numbers.
is what it was.
So what happens?
It was a basic thing. And when you watch the viral clip, I got a bit obsessed by it. I started scrolling through and seeing who's
The comments.
Yeah.
And the comments is like, you got people that are up there like going, this is the aggression we need. This is the stuff we need. And I'm like,
Congrats to these
Congrats.
people.
This is what, and I'm like, hey, I'm not taking anything away, but you're using industry standard, and people are going crazy on it because you used the mathematical sleight of hand.
Yeah.
I was like, I was blown away. Anyway, look, nothing against the guys. Great
exactly.
company.
And the company's
all
great,
that
by
good
the way.
stuff. I just found that the fact that you could say a bold statement like that by just twisting it a little bit and it picks up and goes viral, by people that should know better are then saying that's the new standard. And I'm like, the new standard? We've been doing that for what, 10 years? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Man, we should. I mean,
All
at some
right.
point, it depends on how you
Yeah.
see it. The perspective is like, hey, you are a marketing framework, copywriting, content expert,
Yeah.
or you're lying to people because you're saying exactly what everyone is doing right now over the
Yeah.
last 30 years.
I'll be careful to say, because it's not lying. It's not lying.
Exactly.
But it's just the way that you frame things. 20x base salary.
Messaging
when
is
you
everything.
do those maths, maybe they're slightly out a couple of percent either way.
Yeah.
Works out as being within a 5 to 8 industry
Exactly.
standard. So same.
Yeah.
So don't believe everything you hear from guys with
Exactly.
loud voices on podcasts.
So would it be fair to assume that messaging and the way we say things and how we say it is everything at some point to convince a prospect, a client? How do you see the sales? Well, I don't know. I don't know if you want to go through a specific route.
I mean,
but-
there's
let's-
definitely a way of like convincing people is the old school way of doing things. We don't convince people. anymore.
Exactly.
We do not convince people.
exactly like
You convince people, it's going to end up probably with problems down the road. This is all it's all about. 15 years ago, you asked me what sales was, I would have said something very different from today.
Yeah.
15, 20 years ago, I'd have been saying it's convincing someone, it's making someone make a decision in my favor now. That's like the Glengarry, Glen Ross, the Wolf of Wall Street, that kind of, but you can't do that.
So
Not anymore.
what do you think changed the most over the last 20 to 15 years, in your opinion?
So much has happened. But also, I want to be very, very, very clear. Some things have stayed exactly the same. And I'll die on that hill. I will
Go
die
ahead.
on that.
Go ahead.
Things that have changed. Largely. When I started, I was a dude. It was just me. You had I'm showing my age a little bit here. You had a Yellow Pages phone book. I don't know if you guys even know what that is.
Yeah,
right?
we know,
A
we know.
printed out phone directory.
Yeah, my father told me about those.
You are the youngest.
That was me. That was me.
That was a good one, man.
And a desk phone. And we had like we had the
But
Blackberries.
that one you have to like.
No, I didn't have to
Not
do this.
there.
I didn't have to do this.
Your father told you
we
about
had
it,
to call. We were like, call a collect,
Hello,
like
can
connect
you
me.
connect me with?
Yeah, but here's the thing. Back then, you did the whole thing. I was SDR. I was BDR. I was salesperson. I was customer success. I was account manager. I was marketing person. You wear all the hats. I tell you what, you learn so much.
Yeah.
Today, you got 5 different people for those jobs.
Yeah.
5, and there
Super
were reasons
fancy
for
and-
that, but
yeah.
I don't want to go into all those details. Other things we can talk about, but that's changed. The fundamentals have changed in that way. 2, the way people communicate, the way people ultimately buy and sell, as it relates to technology and things like that have changed. So attention span has changed.
Correct.
The buying part is
And it's
quite
decreasing.
interesting. Yeah.
Exactly.
get there as well.
So attention now, before I remember my rates from when I was a rep. I remember my rates exactly. If I made 10 phone calls, I would have, if I made 100 calls, dials,
Yeah.
I had a 10% conversion rate to actually speaking to someone. So if I made 100 dials, I was going to speak to 10 people. Out of that 10 people, I'd usually have a conversion rate of 20 to 30%. 100 dials, I can make 2-3 meetings. I did that every single day, right? And what we used to call it was 10 by 10.
Killing
10 held calls by 10 o'clock every morning. you literally hit your pipeline, it killed it. Connection rates now, look at them, trying to get hold of people. So while I say we did it all, and back in my day, I picked up the phone, I also had like a connection rate of 10%. I had a meeting conversion rate of 20 to 30%.
Yeah.
Now, that was quite good. Other people may have had a 10, 15, whatever, but it was still within a reasonable. Now, it's all about multi-thread, it's all about hyper-personalization, about getting attention. Now people don't have attention like they used to.
We're fighting for attention.
We're fighting. Now people have got far more intelligence on you and your product.
Yeah.
Fundamentals have still stayed the same. And I will die on this hill. And there's two of you, there's one of me. You guys can tell me. You guys have been around doing sales for a while. But the fundamental sales process, well, I'm not talking B2C, I'm talking B2B.
Yeah, B2B.
And I'm not talking B2B like high transactional. I'm talking a solution, a problem-driven, a solution-driven approach, right? It still looks like this. You've got a problem. What's the negative consequence of staying with that problem, right?
Cost of inaction.
It doesn't matter what we're selling here.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's where you would like to be, and here's the positive business outcome of making that. And the difference between the two, think about that. That's where you start getting that value. So what are the required capabilities that you need to go from A to B? How are you going to measure that? Metrics. I've got metrics tattooed on me somewhere.
Yeah.
Metrics. How do we do it? How do we do it better? And how do I provide proof points from outside of me just telling you that that's what we do? Fundamentally, whether you're selling a CRM system, whether you're selling
a fintech solution, whatever
fintech
it is.
Solution, whether you're in the industry that we're in, where we're doing high-tech engineering into solar development, the fundamental process stays the same. Where are you now? What are the negative consequences?
You're closing that gap.
You're closing that gap.
You're bridging from A to B.
Exactly.
How it can help you be there.
Yeah. Exactly. Now that 20 years, 30 years.
What's the same?
40 years, I guess. I can't speak to the future.
Yeah.
Where we've probably got AI talking to AI.
But you're solving problems at some point.
Exactly. That part.
The way how you do it may vary, but the fundamentals are the same. You have a question, and I have two questions, two ideas that I would like to tackle.
I think the buyer side, also the way how people buy nowadays is much more like educated already, I would say.
100%.
Right? The people, before it was really like, okay, we have a solution in place. We didn't really look around, or we are maybe looking sometimes around, but now it's really, they got bombarded with targeted ads, how you can get a company over there.
There's still a little piece of this that people forget. I always used to have this, I remember having this argument 10 years ago. Every part of my journey over the last 20 years, buyers have always been getting more educated. There's never been a point where I'm 5 years in, there's less educated buyers.
No,
I've been having more and more educated buyers for my entire career. Now, you've seen this kind of uptick with the ability of AI to capture, but there is one small thing. I agree. I 100% agree. There is one small little thing that you've got to think about that. If they're looking and they know they've got a problem.
Yeah.
Not everyone knows they've got a problem or knows the impact of that problem. Yeah. If I know I've got a problem and I know it's a problem that I want to solve, I can go get whatever information I got.
Yeah.
But a good salesperson is going to be able to get in and help you identify the unknown to known problem. If you already got a problem, it's going to come in as an inbound.
I love it.
Now I've got to fight that inbound. I get that. I understand that. When I'm going out, I've got to be able to go and speak to companies and possibly, I'll be careful in saying disrupt their thinking, but at least illuminate and help them understand that perhaps that problem, maybe it isn't a problem, but perhaps that problem is causing them more of an impact than they actually know. And it's on me to educate them and help them realize that.
There is something that you're mentioning, Chris, that it's, okay, how can we change the way they see, feel, and measure something in order to help them go from point A to point B? And this is what we call the buyer's pyramid. That basically the buyer's pyramid says different, it depends on the average in each industry and so on, but it says like just 2 to 3% of the whole total addressable market that you have right now that you tackle is ready to buy, actively searching.
This is so funny.
Exactly. But then the rest, you need to do that exactly what you're saying, right?
Yeah. Because no company out there is 100% happy with their solution.
And at some point, they don't even know that
all of my customers are 100% happy with, I just want to put that out there, because they all get socks. Okay?
That's right.
That makes the difference.
No,
that's the difference, man.
But this is something that we were talking behind the scenes and in other episodes as well with other invites. And I want to ask you this question. You mentioned two things. two things. One, that it's, hey, the fundamentals 30 years ago and for the next 30 years, maybe they change the way we do things, but how we convince people, not convince, let me change the word, influence a decision, how we walk them through a process, those soft skills, the way we speak, they will remain there, the psychological tricks and so on. But right now, there are so much fighting for the attention and the attention span is going lower every single year. So my question is, and I have this dilemma internally, is easier than ever to become a seller right now or harder than ever?
It's easier than ever to become a seller. It's harder than ever to be a good seller.
Okay, can you elaborate in that?
Anyone at this point can get in at some level into sales with the technology that we've got, run cadences, follow scripts, and do those kind of things. I mean, we're seeing more and more automation in that area. We're seeing these things happen.
That didn't happen 20 years ago.
Back in my day, like, hello,
you need to
Bob.
call people. Exactly.
It was in that way. So getting into it. Also, there are a lot more jobs on the market, a lot more people that want these types of, think that they want this. So we talk about hiring in a minute, think they want these types of roles.
FOMO about
But now
sales.
you've got to cut through the bullshit.
Yeah.
Now you've literally got to cut through the noise. And that's fucking hard. Like that is hard. Yeah. Hard. I get my LinkedIn. People are like, LinkedIn in messages, that's the way to do it. And it is a way to do it. And I think I said, but now I'm seeing I get loads of those. It used to be, I get an email. Oh, I've got an email, I'll answer it. Now you're just like,
forget about it.
I got a phone call. Oh, I'll answer it. I actually do answer cold calls because I want to listen to what's going on. I do.
And if you're in sales, that's part
of what
you preach,
but most people don't answer cold calls, right? So now you've got to cut through. But just getting to the table is difficult.
Yeah.
Now you're in front of someone. Now, I think you guys are old enough as well as me that you at least remember back in my day, there was no such thing as Zoom. Even Skype calls you would do.
No.
We would drive.
Yeah.
Myself and what we would call then, what you call now pre-sales engineer.
Okay.
Right? We would drive. We would tour. We'd get in the car and we'd drive. And we would go in person. We'd sit.
Yeah.
Where are things going?
Yeah.
In real life is coming going full circle in my opinion.
So basically, in a nutshell, to conclude, I think that this will answer my problem and my mental health dilemma here.
Yeah.
It's easier than ever to be an average/poor seller.
Yeah.
It's harder than ever to become a top elite seller.
100%.
As a leader, how do you make an average person a good or even a great top performer, right? Because not everyone is born to be a perfect, great salesperson, right? There are like a lot of talents out there, but they need a certain tweaks, certain tips and tricks, certain coaching. How do you do that, right? I had a pleasure for the audience out there. I had a pleasure to work with Chris.
Explain a little bit because no one knows who he is.
You took when you were asking me that, I said, Kevin, I got no idea, but you came and worked for me. Now you're interviewing me on a podcast. So I don't know what I did, but you do that.
Yeah.
Whatever the secret sauce is.
No, I mean, if there is one golden formula, and then I want your experience about how I was working with Chris as well. But there's no golden formula. Cut it out. But there's no golden formula. And this is, as a consultant that I am and helping teams and training teams as well, what I see is that sellers, and that's why my dilemma is, they are trying to find that shortcut. Like, what is the perfect sequence that I can use to book 100 meetings next week?
Yeah,
that won't happen. That won't happen. Neither in your industry, not even working at Salesforce or Amazon Web Services. That won't happen.
It may work for a blip. And then it's going to be noise again.
Exactly.
So in real life, again, is another twist. Where I think that the industry is slowly waking up to. But I'm like, get out there, just get back out there. Yeah, our travel expenses are going to go back up again. But think about how much we spend, how much noise we make, how much spam that ends up coming out. Because now everyone, you remember when like cadences first came out? You mean I don't have to write an email? I could write like 8 emails and then trigger when they go out. This is going to be like shooting fish in a barrel.
Yeah.
I'm vegetarian, so I don't shoot fish. But you get my point, right?
Exactly.
But everyone's done it. We just spammed everyone. Everyone is getting spammed.
Everyone is willing to
everyone's
click
putting
send.
that up. So, honestly, go knock the doors again. Let's get in front of people.
So how you're doing? Because I guess that your question was that, like, how are you making sure, or what's your process, your strategy within your team to at least trying to influence them to become better sellers?
Set targets on getting back out there again. I literally set targets on getting
Really?
back out in front. Yeah.
Like having
how do you implement
face-to-face
that?
meetings on a
Yeah.
monthly basis.
And your
with-
product is perfect for that, I guess. It's
I need you out
important.
there. I need you out there. Go. Well, I mean, we're software as well. So
Yeah.
it's
It's a mix, a hybrid.
No, we're only software.
Only software,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
what I'm saying, software as well as everyone else. But no, I mean, you've just got to get out there. You know,
And how is the reception from the other side? Because the buyer
it's
is
amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing, right?
It's amazing. As long as you're bringing value.
Value.
What does value mean? For fuck's sake. Honestly. I remember having
You're suffering.
oh God. I remember being told, and I won't name names or anything, but Chris, you need to bring more value.
What does that mean?
That sounds familiar, yeah.
Yeah.
What value? Tell them we're number one. Oh shit. I didn't think. Hey, Mr. Prospect. We're number one.
In the market.
Oh, look at us. We're number one.
They are going to buy you directly.
Immediately. That's it. That's my top set. Just tell everyone you're number one. And then when you're in there, okay, sell more than what you were trying to sell originally.
Yeah.
I've been told that as well. Genuinely, I was once told a number of years ago, and we sold it on a seat basis then. Software's like on a seat basis.
Yeah.
Like you would buy seats of software.
Correct.
right?
User seats.
Instead of selling one seat, and I was like,
Yeah. One. Another
Yeah.
chair.
sell two.
Yeah.
It wasn't a joke. It was deadly serious. And I literally was like, wait for it. There's going to be some magic. So instead of selling
You were
one,
about
sell
to
two.
punch them in the face.
Well, I'd be careful. But, and I'm like, so just bring more value and sell more. I'm going to be a millionaire.
Man,
I am elite.
That's the best
Let's
trainer.
go, motherfucker.
The best trainer ever that you had, right? No, but that's crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that you're sharing that.
Yeah.
Not happy for the sellers, but
Yeah.
happy because I will have a job for a long time unless AI replace me. But this is happening, man. Sellers and companies are hiring coaches, trainers,
Yeah.
outsiders, whatever. I'm one of them at some point. That is a bastard profession.
Yeah.
There's another seller out there that go to train us. And the first thing that I hear is,
Yeah.
no, my manager is telling me you have to do more.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
How can I train you? Like, do more, sell more. You're better. You can do it. I mean, I'm not in the gym. Help me with the strategies. With the skills.
I do tell people to do more, but it's about doing the right things more.
But
it's
break it down
It's
into-
not
exactly.
activity for the sake of activity.
Exactly.
To hit activity
That's what I refer to.
KPIs.
That's what I
It's
refer
out-
to.
Exactly.
Because you can,
Exactly.
we
It's
kept that to
crazy.
to a point where then they say, okay, I do more, just fake it more, because they just trick the
You
stats.
just trick the system.
And then-
It's so
but
funny. It's
this-
like, I need you to do I have these conversations so many
Whatever.
times.
100
We're trying to
calls.
achieve
Yeah.
this here. This isn't working. So let's look back at what we're doing to try and achieve that. I look at these. Okay, so these numbers are down.
Mhm.
These numbers are down. This number of calls are down, customer visits is down, this is down. Now, I'm not saying that doing all this stuff is the only way to get here. If you can get here a different way, teach me. I will give you the full credit and you
Absolutely.
teach everyone how we do it. Until we know that, we can't do nothing and hope this happens.
Exactly.
So if this isn't happening, I have to take a step back and go, okay, so what are we doing to try and make that happen? And how many customers did you visit? How many meetings have you had? And what were your conversions of your meetings?
Yeah.
And maybe
that's
having
data driven. That's reverse engineering of your whole process.
But then you get to the end saying, we've worked out the averages. And on average, if you do, like I was saying, my 10 by 10, if you do that, you should, in theory, based on all of the averages, achieve this number. Now, you may be able to do it in half that because you're fucking you're the ethical wolf of Wall Street.
Exactly.
You're an amazing salesperson, but you're ethical, right?
Exactly.
But you think this is something which a leader should deliver to their salesperson, like something easy
before you
to
start,
digest?
Before you start on this isn't what we should deliver at the beginning. It starts with hiring.
Let's go to that topic if you want.
Okay,
So,
because it's a hot topic.
why hiring
I
right now?
have made some
Do you think that hiring is broken right now?
No,
Or how the companies are doing hiring? Because there is mainly for sales. And let me frame the question so you can elaborate. There's so much hype within breaking into sales or scaling the ladder, so to speak. So much offer and a lot of demand from people jumping into. So let's hire whoever it is, and then you have a lot of problems.
You get so much burn.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So why hiring is the root of all the potential benefits or problems that you might have internally later on? if that's the question.
We could talk about this for hours. Like, bring the beer in because we can talk about this
Let's
for
do it.
hours.
You have it there. No, it's just water.
It's just,
but could be
unfortunately, it's just
whiskey,
water.
beer,
Yeah.
whatever.
But I mean, look, there's so much to talk about on this. I think one of the things I'll start with is, right or wrong, how I think about hiring. I've hired some terrible people previously.
like Kevin.
Terrible. No.
Explain that. Like, how do you guys know
saved
each
his
other?
ass and his quota?
How do you guys know each other? Because you were saving his job?
No, you know.
Yeah. So, but going back to hiring, we can get to that in a minute. But going back to hiring, I'm always looking for three things. Always looking for three. And by the way, I've stolen 2 of these in my previous company. It works so well.
Perfect.
Yeah.
3 things that I'm always looking for, the fundamental things, okay? Brains, passion, coachability. Brains. Do you have the intellectual horsepower to understand what the fuck we do?
Yeah.
Do you understand and can you learn what customers in our industry are facing every day? Can you learn that and can you become an asset to them?
Mm-hmm.
But smart people aren't always I could be the smartest person in the world about signs. I might not want to wake up every morning selling them.
Yeah.
2, am I passionate? But I don't just mean, I'm passionate about being a sales. I mean, like, are you passionate about what you do every single day? A reason that I moved into the renewable space. I want to wake up with purpose. So are you passionate? Do you want to wake up every morning doing this job? Yes or no?
Yeah.
And of course, they're going to say yes. But this is where you need to dig in. Why? Why do you want to be in the hardest job? I'll be careful in saying the hardest job. We're not brain surgeons. Why do you want to be in such a relentlessly difficult job? Every single, I want to earn money. Bullshit. I know you want to earn money. We all want to earn money. Why? Why?
What is a good answer for you?
A good answer could be, I got 2 kids at home.
Yeah.
So I grew up, I don't.
Opening their heart and showing you that.
I got 2 kids at home. I didn't grow up with money. I need to get these kids into the right school.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that without getting out there
honest
and fucking doing it.
But if they don't have that scenario,
that,
and if they have a good scenario, for example,
it could be anything.
Whatever that shows you.
That up.
Exactly.
But
more than, I just heard you pay money. Okay, you can earn a lot of money in sales. You will
learn a lot.
You will also in sales have some of the worst times of your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I can say this, but there's an old phrase. I'll be careful what I say. There's an old phrase. I don't use it. And they called it about sales, cocaine and razor blades.
We're going
1 minute you're partying and you're all happy.
Are we going to get banned here?
You're going to get banned.
Please take this out.
No, you're right.
Take it out. But it was a joke. Sales is like cocaine and razor blades. 1 minute you're like, next minute you're like, and I mean, look, it's a dumb.
The famous roller coaster of
emotions. It's the roller coaster of sales. So you got to need more than I want to earn money, because guess what? There will be months when you're not hitting your number and you're about to get fired and you're not earning money. Tell me again why you want to be here. I want to earn money. You ain't earning any money. Tell me again why you're showing up the next day.
Exactly.
Has to be a reason.
Okay, so
1 is
smart,
brains.
Smart.
2 is passionate.
And then
3
coachability.
is coachability.
Yeah. Is there any specific order, or you
need all 3 of them. So what I do, I now don't hire SDRs directly, but I've been in the world where I did hire SDRs directly. So I would do things very simply. Number 1, if someone's coming as an SDR, they've been an SDR, not if they've not been an SDR.
Right.
Or I do this, but I'm more gentle on them. If someone's been an SDR, say, okay, so what do you sell today? I sell this. Who do you typically sell to? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, what are the kind of problems they face? Good. Okay, now I might not know their industry whatsoever. I'm going to say, okay, so I'm the CEO of blah, blah, blah. Right on the spot, I'm going to give you 5 seconds to prepare. Let's go. And you're going to cold call me in 3, 2, 1. Hey, through to Chris, how can I help? And I would see how they do. Now, how well they do on that cold call will show me the first step of this. They've done this before. They know what they're doing. We're in an interview scenario. It's going to be possibly a little bit more difficult than it would be when but we'll see. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, good. Here's a couple of pointers. Maybe you'd done that. Maybe you could have paused there. Maybe you could have just held back a little bit longer. No. Then I'll say, right, 5 seconds. We're going to go again. I push them down that same path and I listen. Did they take what I just said and tried to apply it? Or did that just go completely in one ear, out the other ear, and then they just did the same thing?
Yeah.
Coachability.
I actually remember that.
I love it.
When I applied for the role.
I'll take that one.
When I applied for the role and in Chris' team, not as an SDR, as an account executive, I remember 2 things. It's still, I think it's now around 7-8 years ago. One part was that I had to pitch. I had
You had to pitch to Chris.
I had to pitch to Chris. So that's exactly what he said. I had to do that.
Do you have that on tape?
No.
It's like this. Yeah, we're like,
Yeah. So, and the second part was like, after the interview, I followed up. And he said, if you would not have followed up,
maybe
I would not have hired you.
Yeah.
I had I had two big learnings that have stuck with me since when I was early 20s who knew fuck all about sales. Set the scene. I had 5 interviews to get into the company. I'll talk about big shout out to John Perrin, first person who hired me. Phenomenal sales guy, phenomenal sales trainer. Big mentor in my life when I first started out in sales. He gave me my first shot.
Mm-hmm.
He put me through the absolute fucking ringer. 5 interviews. 5 interviews.
Going through hell.
And I basically had to keep calling back and calling him in order to try and get through. And he basically said, I'm glad you called because I wasn't, there's no way I'd give you a job if you can't help me. I'd never done sales before. So I was just going on, how do you get a job? This guy isn't responding.
Call him.
I better call him, And so I was just doing it, but he wanted to see.
He forced you on the other side.
Me. And he was like, had you not done that, you would never have got the job. You never got the job. Number 2. So this was the learning that I had. So we had a room about this big. And
you were working already with him.
This is when I got the job.
Okay.
There's a room about this big. There's 6 guys in it, all young, all hungry as hell, all had a reason, all wanted to earn money. I had mine, they had theirs. We all wanted to get there. I'm going back 20 odd years. Software sales, of course, was around. It's a very different world back then. We were like a boiler room in a very professional way, but lots and lots of cold calls, lots of activity, lots of, right, I've got to jump in the car. Fax machine. When that fax machine turned on, we would all run over to see who the order was coming from, right? But here was the learning. JP sat, I remember it perfectly. He actually sat here, right here, in the office.
Yeah.
And he was the co-founder, sales director, went on to be a sales trainer, and then God knows what he's doing now. He's probably retired on a boat somewhere, but whatever. He sat right here. I'm a new guy. I don't know what I'm doing. I had to sit there and make calls every day.
Next to him.
So I got some great stories on here. I would literally be like cold calling, hello, it's Chris here.
Shaking for the audience.
Hello, shaking. If you can't see, shaking. But even when I started getting good at it, every now and then when he was listening and he was in the office, if I was like doing some prospecting and I was on a call for like 10 minutes, he saw it was going out, he would lean over and just hit the button on my phone and cancel it. Literally would just hang up my phone. What are you doing? It's going fucking nowhere. Next. And this isn't like a aggressive Wolf of Wall Street way. It was like, you could hear, he would hit the phone, it would go on speaker. He would listen and he'd be like, you're just having a chat with someone about the about like
life, whatever.
Life. You're just chatting with people.
You're selling here.
But you're not at a point where you're just building good rapport to move somewhere. You're just chatting. So he would just hang up. So I learned quite quickly. I remember another one. I was trying to close this deal. Are we allowed to talk about competitors and companies in this?
Whatever you want,
company you used to work for or not? Are we allowed to talk about
that? You can. Okay. Don't mention them names maybe, but the rest.
No, but company names or not.
Okay, yeah, you can say
company names. So I was working at a company. I was competing I was working for a company and I was competing against Autodesk in an engineering firm. And I built like rock solid relationship with the decision maker. Like he and I were talking like holidays, like we had similar interests. We both like going to the gym. We both like, mountain biking, all this kind of cool stuff. And was having a conversation. And we got to the point where I had put in a quotation. We're right at quotation stage. Everything was good. And ultimately we get to a point where I lose the deal. Okay, so I lose against Autodesk. Painful, right? And this was like a reasonable amount of money, especially back then, a reasonable amount of commission. So here was one of the learnings. JP, this was one of the last like bigger deals that I'd lost. So JP, I'm in the office, he takes me outside. He says, okay, man, let's go. What happened? Tell me why you lost this deal. I said, okay, well, I had the relationship, I had this, blah, blah. I went through the whole deal. At the end, they already had some Autodesk products. They were looking to upgrade. And then when they came in with a final offer, ultimately they came in like 30% the price of what I was coming in at. And, so they were much cheaper. And because they were much cheaper, they ended up going with them. All the explanation. And I stopped about 10 minutes, right? He's just straight faced. He's like, okay. Like, understand. I said, stopped. He said, so why'd you lose the deal? I said, You know the fact. You know about the price. They were like much cheaper than me, and ultimately because of that, I lost the deal. Yeah. I heard you. Why'd you lose the deal? I'm like, dude, I lost the deal because I got undercut. Blah blah. And I started getting a bit pissed off to the point he goes, I'm going to tell this to you, and you're going to have to learn to accept this. You lost the fucking deal because you got outsold. End of story. The other sales rep beat you in this deal. And I was like, no, it's because they were cheaper. It took me about a week.
Yeah.
And I had to calm down and process it. That changed my mindset from then going forward to this day of I'm competing with my products against someone else with their products. If I really, really, really am in a losing position, then okay, maybe I should go join them. Maybe our product sucks. But we had one of the most widely used products in the world.
So what is your non-negotiable right now after that lesson learned? Like
accountability.
Exactly.
Accountability on
That's
why
a great
did
topic.
you lose?
Yeah.
We lost because the other person did a better job than me. And that pill to swallow became so hard. I can swallow that pill now quite easily because I recognize I lost the deal. They didn't I lost the deal.
Yeah, because
why don't we have that into our mindset wired already? Because everyone is like, they did this. It's not me. It's they did.
Yeah,
this
because
happened.
it's ego. It's all about ego.
Because
we don't like to accept
but
that
we need people
failed.
like JP, man, because I have 2 questions before jumping into accountability because we're talking about hiring. So, man, this is so interesting. Hiring, why all these companies? And I've been in that position and I'm guilty of committing that mistake. Sometimes we are not harsh or hard enough in the good sense. In order to get the high quality people, you want the A players, the best.
But we
team.
are all of us, every hiring manager out there, at least that I know, maybe there's a few, you have a gap, you got to fill, get a head count in. And maybe you've got limited applicants. Maybe you've got, like, for example, Kevin, like if you're in Barcelona, let's say you want an SDR, but you want a German-speaking SDR who's really fucking
you're limited
good.
at some point.
You're limited to like 8 people, right? And half of them are
living
here doing stuff. So I'm not saying that there aren't 8 phenomenal guys or gals. Right. I'm just saying that you might be limited. And so you sometimes end up that balance of empty seat is costing me this.
More than a poor seat.
And I don't want to say like good enough, but they did a good job. You start convincing them, no, I think they could do, I could coach them.
But the thing is that you can go, but that shouldn't be a condition. And I love that. That shouldn't be a condition and to how I go through the interview process. Maybe I can make them feel the pain throughout those 8 interviewers or those 8 candidates, better said. And then you make the decision. But the thing is, my experience is maybe we're too soft. And the 3 things that you
definitely are.
And the 3 things that you just mentioned and that you just went through, like coachability, the brain power, let's say, and the passionate about those 3 things. Then we say, no worries, we can make them in, and then internally we will take the time. No, you won't. You have to do it right away.
But let me give you the other side of the coin. There's a lot of companies hiring for these people. They don't. People that are being interviewed now also don't want to go through 5, 6, 7, 8 steps
again and again and again.
Again. So we've got to get very good at finding out. So that's why every single one of those interviews, you got to be spot on. Hunting
Quick question here, Chris. Do you think who is more selective, corporates or startup scale-ups? You worked for both, right? Who is more selective? Because of course the startup scale-ups have to fight hard to good talents.
There is a timing
because the
factor there, I guess. That is
young
painful.
people want to work for the big names first, right? They want to say, I want to work for Microsoft, Amazon, all those big names. But the good people want to go there as well, right? What is your opinion about that?
I mean, they also hire a lot more people, so there's more margin of error. I would say if you've got 50 people on your high velocity team, your SDR team, or whatever. And by the way, I'm not answering your question direct now, but let's go back. Hiring an SDR when it's someone who is that is their first job is the hardest job to hire for.
Absolutely.
It is the hardest job. I have these debates all the time. It's Why don't we hire experienced SDR? And I go, I don't know. Maybe an SDR probably usually has like 2 years, possibly 3 years max being an SDR. If you've hired them and they're really good, and maybe you'd managed to get them in, they've done 12 months. You've got 12 months before they are going to go somewhere else or expect you to move. So that's good if we know it. Now, if you want to bring someone in who maybe you've got longer runway on, now you're hiring someone with no experience. And now you've got someone coming out of college, or it's the first job coming out of university or a different industry. They're like, I want to be this SDR. Okay, we're painting the picture. You know what this is, right?
You know the expectations.
An SDR is ultimately someone who does high activity. I'm expecting a lot of activity, good activity, right activity, in order to be able to drive the outcomes that we need. If you can hit the numbers with no activity, and teach me.
Yeah.
But we need someone who's going to be relentlessly going out there and having the door literally slammed in their face every single day.
Correct.
So you got people that think SDR, tech sales, I want to go in and do that.
Beautiful.
The reality on day 3, and they're like,
good salary.
Exactly. No, go ahead.
Yeah, like another topic one I want to discuss, because I think there is a huge discussion about the full sales cycle AE, right?
Yeah.
What is your take on that? Because, like many companies say, SDR is not that effective anymore.
Yep.
Should we go full sales cycle AEs? Does it make sense? What is your opinion about that topic?
I think there's definitely a place for this. And, some of the, I do want to answer your question, but, there's some things that sort of mind boggle me a little bit. And I'll be very respectful of everyone. I'm just talking about experience. It always kind of blew my mind that we would give inbound leads that we spend all this money on to our most junior people. And typically you start off with people that walk in the company, giving them the inbound leads first. Not me, I try to do this, right? But then if they're really good, you say, okay, now you should go outbound. Now you've learned. And then if you're really good at that, I'm going to give you the full sales cycle. Why are we, you know what marketing spend is huge.
Huge.
Why do we
Customer
give our best leads to Bob or Susan who walked in a week ago and they're like, hey, so there's a lot of conversation around. I've had this debate 4 hours on, does it make more sense that we have people very structured, very focused, experts in what they're doing? And by the way, being an SDR doing outbound, one of the hardest jobs.
Yeah.
Also sets you up with some of the most foundational skills to take you on to be an AE.
Correct.
An AE that's never done an SDR role, you're going to be on the back foot.
Yeah.
You're going to be on the back foot. You're going to, because you have to have gone through. It's like earning your stripes. And I'm sounding like really old school here, but you need to have made you need to have had those conversations. You need to have been hung up on. You need to have been told you're an idiot. You need to have forgotten your words and gone, hey, and then you're like, what am I doing? You need to have done that.
You can notice when an AE wasn't an SDR.
You need to know that stuff. So I have a huge amount. It is the training ground and one of the hardest roles. So I have a huge amount of respect.
Yeah.
Could you go back? And then this is always the balance. Okay, how easy is it in order to get in contact with those people that you want to talk to? And then therefore, you probably have a higher conversion rate of a seasoned AE having that first conversation. Mm-hmm. But you might spend a lot of time churning the wheel and paying a very expensive SDR, ultimately, an AE doing SDR work, churning through stuff, and they're not actually being productive. So you've got to take a real good look. And I could argue, if you said, Chris, you've got to debate this and you're on that side, I'll go fight that fight. You say, Chris, debate this on the other side, I'll go fight that fight. It's going to come down to the case-by-case situation.
You think it's as well like product related, what people are selling? If it's like a simple product, easy, quite straightforward, where everyone could book certain meetings and it's a short sales cycle, then it would make sense. Or if it's more complex enterprise.
Nowadays, just stick to PLG if you're going to be doing that. Just let it run. Just market the crap out of it. Good product market fit, freemium model, gated functionality, start leveraging it up, blast it out there. You don't even need the sales guys. It would be product related, but that's a bigger, that's a complex conversation on its own. But there's probably other topics that we want to jump into, right? On other things.
No, I think that this is super relevant.
So the learnings you were talking about learning.
Exactly.
So one of them was I got that the loss.
Yeah.
And then I got that cold slap in the face of the reality of you lost that deal.
Accountability.
You
100%.
got outsold. It took me about a week until I got that.
To swallow
But
that.
I got that in my first few months of working in my first
perfect.
software sales role. And that stuck with me and changed the mindset. And even people that, I've worked with for a long time, you can see like the excuses come in. Oh, it's bad weather. People aren't buying. Bad weather. It's like, so there are going to be contexts. There are reasons. Of course, you're going to have horrible headwinds. You're going to have market conditions. In 20 years, unfortunately, I've been through the credit crunch, the global financial crisis, all this kind of stuff. You think selling them was easy?
Yeah.
You had to be
depending on where you were.
so
good.
solid on your business
Yeah.
case, on your commercials, on your return on investment, on making sure you're speaking to the right people. That you had to follow that sales process and like have your medic down, big medic. I work for the company that invented medic, right? So I literally probably
So you have
a
it tattooed
on
as
me.
well.
Yeah.
But Chris, that comes down again. And every time that I see a seller that goes through the ladder, learns all the skills, develop all the different mindsets that you have to go through, a successful guy like you, there is someone behind that shaped you at some point, besides all your own success and your accountability. And you had this JP, this guy, and some others for sure.
There's been a few, but
could be a manager or someone that is training you or someone upper in the chain of command that could make or break your sales career.
There could be, but I think this might be a funny time to move on and just tell you a funny story. I haven't always been 100% successful. I've been in sales this whole time. Like I've not got jobs that I've applied for. Funny story. If you want to go on to that one, a funny story about me not getting a job. So
go ahead.
I was over in Australia.
So tell us. This is the question.
Yeah.
Tell us a fun story, either for a failure or for a success, about your sales journey.
I'll tell you a funny story. I'm unsure if this is a failure or if it's a funny story. You two can be the judges. Okay.
We will.
All right. So here we go. Set the scene. How old are you now, Kevin?
35.
I was literally 35. I'm 35. Been in sales then for about maybe like 10 years or so.
Same like me.
I know my shit. I'm doing pretty good. I'm out there. I'm doing a nice job. I was in a position where I was a channel territory manager. So, I was
you were
progressing a little bit. I was scaling up.
In Australia?
In Australia, right? And then this job came up. This company that big in San Francisco opened their offices in Sydney. I'm not going to talk about the company, but it was one of these companies that did storage solutions. One of the first companies that did online storage solutions, if you will. We're not talking about storing your clothes, but for file sharing and fuck it, we can talk about it. Dropbox.
I was about to say Dropbox could be one, right?
So Dropbox were dropping in to
I
Australia.
just said, this is mine.
I have been working in Australia now for maybe 4 or 5 years. I've been in sales for 10 years. At that point, I'm pretty confident. I know what I'm doing. I know the local market. I know the local industries. I know people. I know the culture. I know the physical locations. I know the hubs. I know sales. As a part of my job, I do sales coaching. I do sales training. I'd also started a little sales consultancy on the side where I was actually teaching people like how to cold call, how to do this kind of stuff, right?
Nice.
So I thought this is great. But their landing team come in. There's a landing team. They've got like 4 or 5 people. They're all like 19, like first job straight out of like MIT or whatever it might be. I'm making that bit up. I don't know where they came from, right? Anyway, they're advertising for account executives. They're account executives. So I put my CV in, get an interview. I go in, walk me in through the room, and they say, okay, the hiring manager will be with you soon. We're running a bit behind. So they led me into a room that was like basically a cupboard and it had a whiteboard on the side, had some pens on the side, and I was just sat there. And they said, he'll be about like 5 minutes. And I thought, you know what? This is perfect.
This is for me.
This is perfect. So I thought, I jumped up, pen out immediately. I started writing down exactly sales process, sales qualification. So running through like medic, running through how you think about what I spoke to you about before, like a copy of command of the message, if you will, big believer in command of the message. I started writing down all of these things, personas, because I knew, I'd done my research, had this beautiful whiteboard. So the guys come in, they're like, oh, what's that? I said, well, look, instead of you interviewing me and me just trying to fumble through. I thought I would just demonstrate and give you an example. You're looking for salespeople.
I think it's really smart.
Yeah. Let me talk you through. I've got a photo. I shared it on LinkedIn. Because I thought 10 years. I thought I'm not going to tell this story. The other day I thought, screw it, I'm telling this story. I put the story on LinkedIn and I shared the picture. I took a picture of the whiteboard. Go look at it afterwards. I sent it to you. So I've got the whiteboard on the wall. Right. They come in and they're like, "What's this?" I said, "Well, I thought I would give you a demonstration instead of you trying to, navigate. I can just give you. This is what I would do. Here's how I would come into the role. This is the sales methodology I would bring in. If you've got your own, I'll learn that. I just want to give you my understanding and what I would do." About 5 minutes in, they go, "Hold on a minute." Walk out. Go bring other people in. So now I've got an audience, right? Sat there, one of the guys, so geezer pulls out a pen. He's like, right, writing it down.
So instead of an interview as like a coach,
I'm doing this coaching thing, right?
Training.
And they were like, "That's brilliant, Chris. Absolutely fantastic. Love it, love it, love it. Good. Anyway, so that finishes, shake hands, all that good stuff. All right. So, I'm chasing up, I'm following up, I'm doing my thing. I'm trying to add value each time. Not just where are we, but hey, saw this, thought of you, sort of blah, 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 all the good stuff. Invite me back in. I get about 5 interviews. It must have been 4 interviews at this point. And they had asked me through, what do you want to do? And I said, I'll start, what I would like to do, start as an account executive. I recognize you've just landed. I'll start as an account executive. If I do a good job and if I prove to you that I can do this job, I would love to move more into a team lead role, kind of more where I am now. I'm a territory manager at the moment. I'm happy to go be an account executive, run around like a crazy man. I will literally be a beast. I will run around and I will bring the orders in. I prove myself. I get team lead over whatever. One day, I would love to have a career path where I could be country manager for a company like this. Okay, Chris. Good. I get an email the next day. Chris, you got 5 minutes. And I'm like, this is it, boys. We're going to the top.
I got it.
This is it. I got it. Age doesn't have anything to do with it, but the experience might do. So I have a very inexperienced guy on the call. He must be 20s. I did look at his LinkedIn. I think he'd maybe been in the company for 6 months, and that was like his first job out of college. This was the advice that he gave me. Literally, I can remember it. Chris, we're really impressed by you and your sales skills. We're really impressed by the coaching and everything that you did.
When you start like that, I'm feeling the pain already.
The sandwich starts.
Man,
and I'm like,
we need to talk.
And then he's like, the thing is, we've already got a sales manager and we've already got a country manager. And you're very ambitious about wanting to move into those roles. And we want someone who just wants to be an AE for the next 3-4 years and run a... Chris, my advice, you should have been less ambitious.
What? Is this?
I had to go like, you're hiring a fucking salesperson and you want them to be less ambitious. You know what? Bring me the most ambitious killers out there.
And I will hire them.
And I will do my best to hold them at bay as I can until they either leave me and go get a role somewhere else because that's what they deserve, or I can put them in that position.
But how a company like Dropbox became Dropbox with this kind of people?
Honestly, I still find it funny now. I put the story on LinkedIn.
They made you a favor.
I was like, wow, that is brilliant. I would have been okay if they said, Chris, I didn't like your shirt, stupid shirt. Chris, I hate...
Whatever the other thing.
Whatever it was. Don't tell a sales guy that I was too ambitious. Oh, what do you want? You're literally telling me you want less ambitious people to come and work. What do you think they're going to wake up and bust their ass and go out there and run around to prove a name and bring on the road and bring in all those orders for you if you hire an averagely ambitious person? Hi, I'm Chris. I'm averagely ambitious.
Imagine a conversation with your manager saying, "Hey, we're not hitting target." No, but I don't want to be. I don't want to be that ambitious.
Yeah.
Sorry, man.
We're doing our reviews. Chris, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I see myself being demoted because I don't want to be so ambitious.
Maybe because your company's selling.
Maybe I could be like I could be lower in the company.
That's crazy, man.
It was brilliant. It was anyway. I still remember that. It was beautiful.
Man, that's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know what it. I have no more questions.
That was a good one.
I have no idea what we have to talk about right now.
No. I think
this is crazy.
That was a good.
But I think many companies still are like this out there, right? They want to maybe their hiring process is not correct, right?
Well, look, I do understand. If I'm hiring an AE and I'm bringing in someone who's very experienced and they're immediately saying, I want to be this, I was hyper clear. If I deliver over this period of time, in the future, 12 months, 24 months, perhaps we build the team, you hire more people, I
Then you
prove
will-
myself
Exactly.
that I could go be. And I'd have been okay if they were like, you're shit at sales training. I'd have been like, oh, okay, maybe I am. But it was that was the advice afterwards. So but I do understand if you or me, if we were hiring someone tomorrow for an AE role and they say, I want to be an AE for 3 months, then I want to be the team lead, you'd be like, no, I need an AE for 2 years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I get that.
Makes
But
sense.
It makes sense. But anyway,
It's curious, man. Sometimes
Funny, huh?
these misalignments or misunderstandings about how the company, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Well, I think some companies just want to grow and grow and grow.
I
like,
want more stories.
Yeah, you have,
Do you have more stories?
you have
I got maybe a couple more. I think one of the things that you want. I
This is
think
the
one of
best.
let's go to a fun. I mean, there was the moving from a IC individual contributor into sales manager.
Okay, wait there. So hold the story for a second. I have one straightforward analysis and something that I want to discuss over the table and put it over the table. Why, if so, and hopefully this will change, and this is changing at some point, I'm seeing it. Why companies used to or are more comfortable by promoting directly the top performer into a sales manager role or into a team lead role, when we know by fact that the skills that you have or that you need for a sales direct role and from a sales manager role is completely different. Why does that happen if it's not a completely success criteria that we should focus on?
Retention. People are forced into it sometimes. Sometimes you're forced into it. I have two choices.
But I can say no and I say I want to stay as an IC.
So you could. And, at large multinationals I've worked for, some of the individual contributors that were in their 50s, that were out there doing the multi-million-dollar deals.
They're making a lot of money.
And they were killing. They were making more money than anyone. And
They're
they're
manager
the
and they are the
ICs.
manager.
They're making more than a manager. And so they should be because they're out there doing jobs. So when that works really well. When you have a position where it's like, if I don't put this, like my top salesperson, if I don't retain them by promoting them and I can't just pay them, for whatever
they will go into another
budget
company.
or whatever, they're going to go somewhere else.
Automatically.
So companies sometimes get forced into a promotion to put them into a team lead role because it's better that. And you think, I will then coach them on how to be a rep than lose them
but
externally.
what's the retention? It's a valid, legit analysis. But why? But that doesn't mean that they will be good at
No, it doesn't.
handling
It doesn't.
role.
And so I've got a quick story on this one, and I'm going to talk about personal friend as well. I've known for a long, long time. So one of the best sales guys again I've ever met. That guy, you come against him. In fact, I did come against him. Me and my team, when he was working at a different company, we came up against him, and I was doing the review with my rep.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, so you're up against this company. He said, yeah. And I'm like, shit, I know one of the guys that works there. I was like, you don't happen
He's
to
good.
know, do you know which rep you're up against? And they're like, it's like Steve Mahoney.
And I say,
I was like, head
we're
drop.
lost.
Head drop.
I have exactly the same.
I basically said, if you don't do these things, he's gonna destroy us.
Yeah.
That guy, Steve, went and found the owner of the company, likes rugby. He's an ex semi-professional rugby player himself. Managed to somehow insert himself at the same game, in the same area, accidentally bump into the CEO, get talking about rugby. Oh, and by the way, just so happens to be competing with us in that deal. Came in, and my rep was going, no, we got it. Our products are but we got it. And I'm going, you are going to get fucked. And I'm going to I don't like getting fucked. We're about to get fucked. Mahoney's coming for us, right? Get me in this deal. We need, no. I'm like, emergency, Mayday. Ringing the bells. Get me in. Anyway, I'm like, where are we on that deal? He's like, yeah, we lost it. I was like, I fucking told you.
Mahoney was
Steve Mahoney.
partying,
Dude. So anyway,
in the rugby stadium.
I finally got to hire Steve. I'm like, I've been trying to get him forever because he's a bit younger than me. And so I've been staying ahead of him, let's say, on the career path, but he's an absolute killer. He's got a twin brother called Dan, also a killer. These guys are insane. So I finally got the opportunity to hire Steve to come in and run the enterprise team for me at a previous company. And I remember having this conversation about going from an IC to a manager. So I'm like, Steve, you're doing a great job running the enterprise team. Being the enterprise guy. Great job. We got to be scaling up. And you said when you came in, you also wanted to go build this team. And so we got that agreement. Let's start hiring people. So putting a team underneath him. And I remember having a coaching session with him, and it sounds obvious, but it's a difficult pill to swallow. That guy is an animal. He is an absolute wolf.
Beast.
He's a beast, right? But he lives or lived on getting out there, closing the deals, and having people go, Mahoney's a god.
He lost the passion.
He loved it.
He loved
and
lost
by the way,
passion.
more power to him. So I had to have a conversation. And I said, Steve, we got to talk. So we got to talking about it. And I said, look, your job is no longer to be the best sales guy in the room. It doesn't hurt that you are right now.
Correct.
Your job is not to be the best sales guy in the room. Your job is to go make a whole bunch of mini Steves. And then they become the best sales guy in the room. That is now your job, is to build and grow that team to be as good, if not better, than you are. Your job is to enable them to coach. Your job is to watch them. And when they're dropping the fucking ball, not run in and grab the ball unless you absolutely have to. Because we're about to lose a big
all about ego again.
Well, I mean,
No, he liked it.
he
wanted,
liked, yeah.
Well, but you need to put your ego aside and let another one
By the way,
being
I
the
had to-
best
I had-
performer.
Exactly.
I had
It's
to go
really
through.
difficult.
I had to go through the same thing.
What was the conversation with? I mean, what
No,
happened?
and he was like, yeah. And we had no, he said, that's going to be a tough, I like the recognition. I like being the guy that brings in the big deals. And I'm like, I know. And here's the thing, when you're a manager, when
He's
you're
an athlete as
when
well.
he is, when your team wins, when you're a manager,
Yeah.
you praise that team.
They win.
When your team fails,
You lose.
you are the one that has to take the hit.
That's
so
the
actually,
mindset that is-
you're in a. The team wins. It was all them.
Either
It was
you
all
lose or
them.
you lose.
It was all them. Oh. God, by the way, everyone fucked up. Yeah, that's on you, right?
Yeah,
and especially
yeah.
when, and so that conversation,
More money,
that
more
was
responsibility. It's
that
how it
was
is.
that was a mindset shift. So that kind of coaching and going through, so that's one of the things you got to learn. Going from an IC to a manager, and then fortunately, Steve and I had a very good relationship. I had been through the same thing. He's open,
kept as a
I'm
manager.
open. We could have the same, and he's doing a fantastic job. So
That's
there we
crazy.
go. We don't work together anymore. I've moved on. He's now taken my old job at the last company. I've moved on to a different company. So
Okay.
little
So
funny
you
story about that.
So you answered that.
Nice.
Now let's jump into the story that you had.
That was a funny story. All right, so this is one of my. You said ask me for a war story. This is
we usually don't prepare our guests.
We don't.
So it's really all
We
about.
didn't.
No. So it's
well.
really,
The thing is, Kevin knows I've got so many stories.
Exactly.
But
Just pick
but he
some
was
of
like,
them.
just pick something, dude, or we'll
Yeah.
be here for 5 hours.
Exactly.
right? I mean, when you've been doing it for 20 years, I've been
You've been
traveled all over
place.
the world. I've been in nearly every single role. You can't not have some funny stories. So
Should we make a 1 minute break so you at least tell the audience who you are, where did you live, where do you come from? At least something. I know that we don't like that because it's boring for the other
It's
side.
boring.
But we need to show you, man. So
Yeah,
in 60 seconds, your elevator pitch of who you are and where you're coming from.
started with yellow pages in a phone book. Now companies trust me to go build their go-to-market motions. That's
Amazing.
it, right? But in the meantime, I've worked at multinationals. I've worked at startup companies. I've been through startup rounds, mergers, acquisitions. I've worked at the big corporations. I've worked at corporations for a startup within that to go grow. Most of what I've done has typically been get in and grow, get in and grow.
Scale and
Get
expand.
Chris in to get in and grow it.
And you
And
did
I've-
this in different countries as well, right?
Yeah,
You lived
yeah,
in
yeah,
different countries and you are from specifically to share the audience?
I'm from the UK.
Okay.
I'm from a little place called Portsmouth on the south coast. I live in Barcelona. You can tell my very,
Because
very
of your
strong British
accent,
accent.
yeah.
I'm not Catalan. Yeah, the accent's terrible. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell. But you can find me on LinkedIn. That's me. But lots of experience in hardcore sales management, territory management, sales enablement, you name it, all that kind of stuff.
and in creating a good environment with the sales
No,
team.
we can feel it here.
I think that was when I had the pleasure to work with Chris. We had always fun working, right? We love to go
And
to the
learning,
office
man.
and learning. Yeah, like I think everyone was always looking forward to our Friday closing
Roundup or
closing roundup.
fucked up
Chris-
stories.
Chris he's a pretty good rapper as well, so he was rapping.
I might be a sales rapper. I could rap about sales. That'd
Exactly.
be good when it's
I
very
think-
niche.
Exactly,
Very niche.
super niche.
So
The
yeah, that
audience.
was some good 2 years we had, I think, together. But yeah, let's get to the story. Sorry, before
No, it's fine. And I say that's also one of the things that I kind of pride myself on. And I've had managers, I've had CEOs or people that I report to that don't like it. They think I've literally been told, you are not hard enough on your team. And I'm like, I'm of the generation of being hard might be what you think that you should do. being a hard ass doesn't work nowadays. There's a time and a place for it. But being supportive, being empathetic, being able to remove blockers to get their job done doesn't mean you can't set clear expectations, hold people accountable. But just being a like hire or fire mentality, that kind of stuff, it's not going to get you anywhere. You get a bad rep, people don't want to work for you. One of the nice
and
things,
new 20s people,
they're not going to
say, "Hey,
who's this?
F off."
Who's this
I'm
guy?
going away.
Yeah.
Exactly. So one of the things that I pride myself on, I'm not. There are a lot of things I'm not very good at. One of the things I pride myself on is being able to, and others tell me, including Kevin saying it, is actually trying to build as best as I can an engaged culture where people are like motivated and happy as they can possibly be to go and get told no 50 times a day, but like trying to drive that motivation and passion. So that's, if you want someone that does that, I'm your kind of guy. If you want someone that's going to be like a hardcore sales VP, revenue operations type guy, like, like I'm data driven, but like, hey, let's get in front of the people, and we got technology to do that. So story, I'm in Australia. I'm with one of my rep, phenomenal sales rep, guy called Richard Elvin. That guy was also a beast. I've been very lucky building up. In 20 years, every couple of years, there's someone that just like is the unicorn.
Star,
you just meet, and I try and stay in touch, try and hire those people everywhere I can. Right. So Kev's one of them. Obviously, we can see. So I had to say that he paid me.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
I just was no money was.
He's saying no to your offers, right?
Just take the socks back.
That's it.
And he's saying no to your offers, right?
Yeah, exactly. He's playing hardball.
He's playing hardball.
So we're in Australia, and I'm like, all right, let's run around. We fly over to Perth. I go over to Perth to go meet my sales rep over there, and he's booked a bunch of meetings. So we go into this factory, very Australian. We're talking factory in Australia, in the suburbs, kind of like tough guys, tough Australian guys. No shit.
Not easy thing.
Straight. I won't. I've sworn a little bit on this, but the profanity is insane. Like every other word is something, right? I'm talking tough guys, right?
Yeah.
So we go in this factory.
They'll look at you and you're done.
I'm like, I'm quite a big guy and stuff, but like Richard also is even bigger than me. We walk in, we're both like, all right, factories, oil, you name it, everything's going everywhere.
What you were selling at the time?
Software, design software.
Okay.
So we go in to meet the CEO because the CEO has got our, CEO's interested in our software. So we go in, all right, boys, sit down. We're like, all right, here we go. So we go in and he's like, yeah, me and the boys have been working on your software now for about the past couple of years. It's a terrible accent. I don't know if I'm allowed to do accents, but anyway. So he pulls up. We know he doesn't have our software. He's got cracked software and he's openly telling me, right, we're using your software. Right, can you train us on this? So I'm thinking, right, okay.
Be careful here.
Be careful. So we're coming from the place of, so you recognize a value in our software. You recognize in our minds, we're like, you can see me and Richard like thinking, how do we, you recognize the value in our software. You recognize the value so much that you're using it. You recognize the value so much that you're willing to talk to us about it. You ain't paying for it because you're basically using you're using cracked software. So we're like, okay, but just to let you know, Mr. Tough Guy, you're not actually one of our customers. Yes, we are. I've got your fucking software. You've not got it the right way. I think you've got your cracked software. And he's like, Barry, or whatever. Anyway, turns out cracked software everywhere. So I'm like, right.
Barry was in trouble.
No, he wasn't. That's the point.
He's like, hey,
he
Barry,
wasn't.
you did
this.
Yeah,
okay, good job, mate. Anyway, so, like, all right. So me and Rich are like, all right, what do we do in this situation? Because obviously we want to legitimize it. We want them to be happy customers talking about us. To their network, referring us in, using our software because they could have cracked any software. They cracked ours. So thumbs up. There's a reason for it. It's the best. So we're basically, and so we got to bring up and say, look, we need, and ultimately bring the story down. We got to bring up the point of we need to legitimize. We need to come into compliance on your software. And he's like, no, mate. No, I don't. And I'm like, well, we need to. He's like, what are you going to do? I don't know if I can keep doing the accent. What are you going to do? And we're like, well, we don't want to go here. We're going like value. We're doing all this stuff. And he's like, well, what are you going to say? Look, we're obligated to report this kind of stuff to our legal team. Don't shoot us, blah, blah, blah. Oh, mate, Mate, that's going to get you fucking thrown out of here if you start getting legal involved. If you get legal involved, I'll shut down this place. I'll move to the next place along and I'll barricade the fucking doors. Get out! Crazy. Chucked us out. Threw us out of the office.
That's fucking
It was
crazy.
insane. We both walked out like shell shocked, like, what just happened? And he looked at me and he's like, you're the sales manager. What should we do different? And I was like, I have never been in this situation. I've got no idea.
But that's one in a million, right? I mean,
That's happened once in 20. So that was the first thing. We got not physically, but closely.
Almost.
We got intimidated to leave this.
Because
this
what's the course of
factory.
action there? So if you go back to the company and say, hey, someone is using it,
No, they
illegally,
get legal.
what can you do?
Yeah, I mean, they get legal letters and they start, they get more and more, and then maybe they get, a little bit of heat under them, and then all that kind of stuff. And
What did you do? You advise legal or not?
we advised legal, and I never went back there again.
Absolutely.
Left Australia.
The lawyers.
Yeah,
and that's when I moved to Barcelona. That's when I moved to
And
Barcelona.
that's how I met your mother. No,
Exactly. I moved to Barcelona and met your mother.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
that's
Those
funny,
stories. It's crazy. I mean, that's what I love about sales. Like, there is
Those
never
stories, yeah.
something that you will say, this is the playbook. There's nothing out there like a
we
playbook.
were like thinking, right, playbook of angry CEO,
Yeah.
understands he's got non-compliant software, doesn't give a crap, threatening to throw
There
you
is
out.
there is always a new...
One thing you didn't do, Chris, you didn't sell value.
I could have sold 2, not 1.
Yeah.
And sold value.
Exactly.
We're number 1.
Yeah.
2 seats.
Kevin.
You're the
Hey,
best.
we are number one.
We're number 1.
Imagine the guy, like, what number one what?
What?
I don't fucking care about what you're saying.
We're number 1 at running out of here, that's for sure.
Crazy, man. That's crazy. So, should we jump into the...
Yeah, let's jump to the game. So
do you want me to explain it? Do you want to explain it?
yeah,
All
I
right,
can
let's go.
explain it. I
Go
can
ahead.
explain it.
So we have a card.
We have here in the middle of the table, we have our confession of seller cards.
Oof, okay.
And on each card, we have a category, a question for you, where you have to answer with yes or no, and be precise and why. Okay, yes or no, and why.
And it's just rapid fire, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
less than 60 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay.
So sales category: firing fast improves company culture.
Betting.
We got him.
Yeah.
He's not talking since.
Firing fast
God.
improves company culture.
Oh, I can fight both of these.
Go ahead.
Yes, it does.
Why?
Why?
Why? If you don't take action fast, your other performers will look at that person and saying, how come that person's being able to get away with nothing while, not nothing, but not doing the job when I'm busting my ass, and it can actually bring down your other top performers. But you've got to be careful. You've got to be careful. You've got to be firing fast for the right reason. If you didn't set that person up for success and then you fire them,
It's on
you're
you.
the asshole.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but if those conditions are like what you were saying, maybe that could turn into a rotten apple and rotten the rest of the team, right?
Exactly.
Great point.
Good one.
Let's
You
move
got
into
me.
the next one.
That's the quietest I've been in days.
Exactly.
My eyes were going.
Yeah, man. Next one. Sales as well.
I thought he was passed out.
Yeah.
Ah. Most revenue problems are leadership problems.
True.
Why?
It's
Not
the
sales problems, basically.
oh, not sales leadership. But you mean leadership?
Not the
what?
SDR problem. I mean,
Yeah.
let me go back. Most revenue problems are leadership problems.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Why?
It's literally the job of leadership to make sure, depending on what part of that you've got product market fit, that you've got the right go-to-market strategy, that you're hiring the right people.
This goes along to what you were saying. Like, if you're a manager at some point,
Yeah.
and everything
Otherwise,
goes
what-
well, it's on them. If everything
Yeah.
goes wrong,
Yeah.
it's on you.
But otherwise, what are those? What
are you hired?
What are you doing?
Exactly.
Because they're out there doing it. If you've got the wrong people, the wrong product market fit, or the wrong go-to-market motion, that's what the leadership is there to do, right? So this is why the tenure of a VP of sales or a CRO is what, 17 months now?
It's crazy.
17 months.
Yeah, or less. Or it is, 17.
I know.
And then you have, including the ramp-up process.
I'm 3.5 years in my current company, so I'm doing
That says something.
Doing something
That
okay.
says something. Yeah. Congrats on that.
Let's see.
Next one. Role and structure. Hiring junior reps or senior experts.
But you're not telling me for which role?
You can assume. If you want to give a longer answer, go ahead.
Entry-level roles, junior people. 100%. Enterprise reps, etc. Bring me in the tenured people. But I need to find those tenured people that still have the spark and the passion. Bringing in someone after 15 years to get them to go and do the daily grind, they are the unit. That's why the people that I just called out, those kind of people, you know, Richard Elving, Steve Mahoney, Dan Mahoney, those people have been around for a long time, other people like I mentioned, they still go even after over a decade, 15 years. But a lot of people get worn out. A lot of people get tired.
And from the junior side,
because you can train them, mold them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. Cool.
So basically, it goes along again.
Yeah.
You are coherent with what you were saying about
Coherent and consistent.
yeah,
I hope
exactly. But passionate, brain, and then coachability if it's junior, and the other one as well.
Last question.
Last one, skills. Top reps are born or built?
Built.
Can you elaborate?
Yep. If they meet what I told you earlier.
The three
Exactly.
core powers.
That's literally it. Literally it. There are some people that are amazing at sales. I get that. It comes naturally to them. There are. But if they're smart, they got brains. If they're passionate and they're coachable, let's go.
You will get there.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Crazy.
Right.
I think we had.
Guys, I'm absolutely. I don't think anyone's probably shouted in here yet. That was my. I was trying to give the full story.
We'll have our editor here, Alberto, helping lowering down and lowering up.
We'll be like, whisper it in.
But it was amazing.
No, it was good. I think, a
lot of things.
I don't know how I should summarize that.
No, we can summarize. I mean, stories, wild things, sales topics, coaching, hiring. What do you need to succeed? Skills.
We covered quite a lot, and
I'm exhausted. You guys asked some difficult questions.
We're just starting.
Yeah.
We feel like we could go a little bit more.
Chapter number 1. You know,
no, but it's amazing. So
definitely. I think before we closing up, we definitely have to again thanks our main sponsor, Jason AI by Reply.io, who is
always with us, helping us, booking meetings on our behalf while we are here talking with Chris. Jason is doing the hard job, scraping, building lists, selling on our behalf, chit-chatting.
That's what you need. That's what you need.
That's how we enhance the
like if you need more information, check down in the comment section. You have everything there as well. If you have questions to Chris, to Alan, or myself,
reach out.
You can find Chris on LinkedIn and
subscribe if you didn't do it
important
so far. Shame on you. And before we go away, I want to ask one final question that we were talking about. Chris, what would be that best advice or what to do or what not to do? Open heart here to seller, whatever the seller and whatever the stage of that seller and seniority, something that you would say, guys, if you want to succeed in this amazing, professional, lovely career, what would you say?
I think you have to stick to the reasons you want to be doing it. This isn't for everyone. Just if you've been in it for 10 years and it's time to leave, it's time to leave. You need to still have that purpose and that why. You still need to have that drive. You got to wake up in the mornings. You got to be ready to go. And if you're really not, this is one of the things at the end of the values that I bring to my team. If you are waking up over a period of time and you're not having fun anymore, that's the time we need to have a conversation. And that's okay, by the way. Try and have fun, but if we reach a point where we're not having fun anymore, because it can be very difficult up here in sales. If we reach that point, let's figure it out. You need to have that every morning. If you don't have it for a long period of time, because we all have bad mornings, but it's time to start thinking about how we can navigate, how we can move you into something else.
Absolutely. Good one. Great advice. So again, thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.
A lot of amazing episodes coming in. Thank you, Chris. Thank you all for joining. Subscribe, hit that bell. Thank you, Reply. Thank you, Jason. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.
See you in the next one.
Adios.
Bye.